All right, friends. Well, we are making progress on the fence. Today, I'm hoping to pull that whole fence and install it. Moments ago, finished off installing all these T-posts. And somehow I miscounted. So I'm gonna have to go back down to the store and pick up a few more just for this side here, but that's okay. We're gonna actually string this fence with what we got installed. So this fence is only 4-foot fence. It's only gonna come up to about here, the sheep fence. And I put that much extra so I could run at least one line of barbed wire over the top, help keep pests and predators out, help deter future horses and whatnot from jumping over the fence. Trying to get this done before the field grows up too hard. I've still got a bunch to do over on that side, but we are just about to string this damn fence up here and bring it all the way to the very back here. Feels like this is something I should have had done last year, probably, certainly. But it also feels like something that I've been working on for far too long already this year. Seems like these kind of projects just can't get done fast enough. So we got our anchor points in here, got our chains, and our come-alongs, and our fence pulling board. So let's see if we can't pull that fence all the way back to here. Now I measured it. Those fences are 330 feet in length, so I measured it so that I should have 6 to 10 extra feet. So the only downside would be is if somehow I mismeasured that or the fence is shorter than it's supposed to be. Now, I'm not going to make a video on how I built my fence this time around because I'm just figuring it out as I go. But maybe once I build the other fence, if you guys are interested, I can try to kind of show you the process I used. But I do believe is that everybody's fence is a little bit different, and it's all an experiment, and you learn as you go. Your first fence doesn't have to be perfect, and it's probably not going to be the greatest, but I don't know, build 3 or 4 or 5, 10 or 20 fences, they're probably just going to get refined more and more every time, and they're going to improve. So anyway, let's check this out once I get this thing unrolled and strung all the way up here. Like I said, I'm not going to video this whole process because I'm figuring it out as I go, and I'm already so far behind schedule. So maybe on the next one, once I've actually got it figured out, we'll share a video with you guys. So if this land was even, it would have been easier to use the tractor and the pipe and chain method. I'm good, thanks. But without that, it's a bit of a bear trying to pull this thing all the way up there. Seems like as it unrolls, you can give you a handle to grab onto, but you see how it's freaking upside down, practically laying in the. It's gonna be a real challenge to get it up and over where it needs to go up there. But I would recommend if you have a friend or a buddy to give you a hand instead of trying doing all this on your own. I'm just gonna wrap over my neighbor's electric box, but it's already gotten a little bit of damage. But just put some moving blankets on there before I drape this metal wire fence all over the top, scratch the crap out of it for him. Whew. I don't think I have to worry about running out of fence, but we are getting close to the end there. That's encouraging, that's nice. Somehow this fence is shorter than what I was kind of envisioning, but that's okay. Just fine. It'd probably be just right. Whew, heavy breathing. Oh man, I did get worried right at the end there, but sure enough, that's why we measure 3 times on a run like this. And of course, a lot of that will stretch out. So there's probably at least 6 feet or more of stretch that it'll do. And just like we did at the bottom, we'll end up having to strip off all these, weave it around that, relash it together once we get to that point. But that was a pretty hard part of this job, so let's keep on trucking. a quick recap. I used the tractor and the tightening bar down at the far end to really kind of pull it semi-tight. I hammered in a few staples into the last post down there just to kind of keep it upright, and then I moved back down here into the middle position. And got a little bit of sagging going on down at the far end down there at those first posts. So I'm about to try to cinch down the top bar here. See if I can't draw that red line a lot tighter and get rid of all that slack down at the bottom. But anyway, 2 chains, 2 come-alongs, just like usual. Seems to be working pretty good. I got just a couple of these guys holding it from falling over, but that is providing some resistance. That bar, I just undid and redid that a couple posts up. But yeah, the main slack down here is just about drawn out, so that's good. Just about. I still got a bit more to go, but you see it's kind of loose and sloppy right through here. So we got to keep ratcheting that sucker until this upper one matches the lower one. Ooh, hoping for the best on this one. Alright, so check it out. I'm doing things a little bit differently than what I've seen on the internet. So because I've got this mid-span section here, like I said before, I used the tractor to kind of snug it up, and then I just repositioned the come-alongs to this spot here. And then I went down and I started that once I had it fully cinched down and snugged down all the slack out of the top wire and the bottom wire. I went down and started lashing each post from the end all the way up one by one. All 4 or 5 little lashing wires all the way to here. And I wish I had this side of this big middle post, because then I could have hammered it, stapled it to that. So all I was able to do is staple it to this guy. But now I'm going to reset this whole deal at that end, which will be just about half the distance. Reset that, and then we will pull that tight again. The thing I screwed up on here was I didn't tighten these down tight enough. So I kind of stripped that back, and it's no problem, I can fix that. But it kind of made it so I had to work really hard to crank this part down because it kind of got loose, you know. So anyway, tightening that would be better. Another quick point, I haven't even really shown you guys how I built these post tie-offs, but what I would have done differently is, instead of putting in this lock, I would have left that unlocked until the fence was installed, so I could make a few more turns on it, and then I would install this lock, because you can see how loose that one is, practically ineffective. So I'd be kind of curious to see whether that tightens up a little bit here with this next pull, because the reason it got so loose is, you know, winching with the come-alongs up here really drew the whole system that way a bit. So we'll see how much it actually pulls it back that way. But I'll just end up having to cut that and making a few more twists and then put a new one on. Not a big deal. All right, so winding down here, just about the end here, I relocated that stretcher bar about as close as I could to the final post. Initially it was kind of like right here, and I could go a little bit closer. I'd say that thing sucked up about half of the length that I gave it. But as far as overall measurements, turned out pretty good. Only having, what, 6 feet excess, probably. I don't even know, about 6 feet, maybe 5 feet. So yeah, could have went back probably one more stretch here, but didn't want to risk that. That would have been a total nightmare. But we're pretty much cinched up. We were just about to do the cutting off the excess, stripping back all of the vertical and lashing it up just like we did down at the bottom. Well guys, I got the fence wrapped up last night after dark. So just that one section though. Let's go take a look at it. so happy to see me and so friendly. He likes to greet me. Sweet. So yes, as I said, not a perfect fence, but definitely pretty darn good. Darn straight. And nice and tight too. Since I probably didn't highlight much of how the lashings went at the other end, but at least 7 wraps is what I did. And I start by coming inside at first and then wrapping around to the outside. Did that across all of the vertical ones. Sorry, all of the horizontal ones. And this one down here was a bit of a bugger, but we got it to work. I just kind of used barbed staples throughout. And yeah, man, pretty freaking solid. Probably could have left one more of these verticals right here, but I ended up leaving about 2 feet from here out excess in order to be trimmed off. But like I said, there's lots of spots that are not perfect, but it's pretty freaking solid, pretty stout. The only downside of this particular project is all the satisfaction of building that dang fence, and I don't even get to put animals into it yet, so I've still got a lot more fencing to build before we can get to that point. So guess what I have to do next? Come on, I'll show you. Tractor out, and we're going to go from this little orange stick, this orange post, actually a little bit further that way than that, all the way down here. All the way over to this orange stick, all the way across that, and then we got to finish this. Well, first we're going to finish this section here. And continue this, because that is what's coming up next today. And then as we get through that, then we will bring this fence all the way up here to this silver welded pipe hoop, and then we're going to run a bisecting fence from this side of the field all the way over to the other side of the field. Not sure if I'm just only going to use electric fence for that, and then we're going to allow the sheep to graze inside of here. Yeah, still got a lot of my work cut out for me, and never seem to get anything done at a decent rate around here. Got to do is the heavy ass snow over winter settled my fences that I put in last summer. So it drove my whole fence at the back end and down in the soft soil. It drove it down several inches, so I got to yank out the last 2 posts or so and reset those. Pack some more dirt down inside. And lift them up a little bit. So once we get that done, then we can finish building upward. Finish that one one little stretch of wood, and then we're going to run the wood all the way down here. We're going to have to get the mower out and mow down some of this grass over here. Run my new string line, mark all my spots. It's going to be awesome. I already came over here a month or so back and lifted up on this one fence post. See, this damn lower rung is touching the ground practically, so I'm gonna have to lift up at least these 3, if not these 4. Pack some more dirt down in them. Awesome. I need to get my gloves on. Anyway, that's what's going on over here. So much fun. Well, it's a whole grundle of a bundle of mess. Half of the time this stuff is fence construction and fence deconstruction. Grief. Whipping this place into shape though. Somebody's got to do it. Chicken fence up. Keep them from crossing the fence over to the neighbor's gardens. And I don't know what, 10 more posts put in.